Then you get this propaganda, this person's got to be a high value man. He got to have 6-7 figures for you to even look his way. First of all, stay out of father's business. I got to submit to God. I got to submit to the IRS. You submit to your white boss every single day, but yet and still you won't submit to your husbands.
Let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades. We're running nonprofit. The black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
Black women also have the majority and the highest rate of student loan debt, which means your debt to income ratio is shot. Problem number one. So if you want a solution, the solution is ignore the rhetoric, ignore the propaganda, and realize that I am not your competition. I am your completion. All that sprinkle, calm that down. If you are so talented, so gifted, so degreed, so smart, how you let dumb niggas nut up in you and make babies?
Damn.
Talk to us about the YN apocalypse.
So again, this is another thing that Gen X and the baby boomers did, which was not pay attention to the importance of rearing your child. When you're getting paid by daddy government, because daddy government did the baby face on you, I'll pay your rent, I'll buy your clothes, I'll give you housing too, just don't have a man in the house. When daddy is out of the equation because you forced him out, you get YNs. For every action, this is science, y'all learned this in 9th grade. In every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So now you got these kids out here in Pooh Shiesty masks because you have not taught them that they can do something with their hands. You told them to go to college, and I'm sorry, everybody ain't a scholar. My grandfather put 7 kids through college with a 6th grade education just working with his hands. We get off of that because that's not sexy enough. Then you get this propaganda, this person's got to be a high value man. He got to have 6-7 figures for you to even look his way. He got to take you on a $300 meal date. The first date, don't know your middle name, your last name, your blood type, or your STD panel. But you want all these things for him. So at the end of the day, what's happened is these YNs are out here robbing you because you did not give them any skills to focus on. You did not give them anything to do. You did not give them any sense of self. You did not build up their self-esteem, and you did not hug your boys. You let your boys run and let the streets raise them, and now you're mad that it's coming home to roost. You did that.
So
that is one of the biggest, I would say, in-your-face moments that we can possibly speak on. A lot of women don't understand why, the society and government has done what they have done, but they have turned women into another working class inside the working class, because they have separated men from women now to where women can do all the things a man can do. And now most of the time women say they want to be independent. It's only independent from one thing. It's independent from a man.
how do we fix this situation?
First of all, stay out of father's business.
Ooh.
Let me give you an example. I have 2 daughters.
Snap.
I know nothing about menstruation. I watch my children come into the world, but I don't know what it is to have the pain of childbirth. I stay in my lane. Protect, provide, back up my wife.
That's real.
If I had sons, my wife would fall back because it is my job, like it was my father's job and his father's job before him, to raise his son into a man. We have taught our children, we have taught society, and we put a battery in our women's back by telling them that masculinity is toxic, that submission is wrong. I got to submit to God. I got to submit to the IRS. You submit to your white boss every single day, but yet and still you won't submit to your husbands. But then you get on these podcasts, you get on these television shows, you watch these reality shows that are scripted, and you sit up there and you say, I want a man who's a provider. No. Your husband is supposed to be a provider. We out of whack. Iyanla Vanzant told y'all was out of order, and nobody wanted to hear it.
So maybe I feel like with the submission thing, I feel like, because that's like a hot topic on the podcast world with submission, but we keep telling black women to submit to men that don't have their life together.
Who said that?
Hold on. How can you say that men don't have their life together? The ones that you choose possibly don't have their life together. It's a lot of guys that do have their life together. But ma'am, if you get your life together, and it don't even have to be on the financial level, but if you can learn how to be a helpmate, then you can get into that guy's life and improve it. See, that's the problem, man. Women think they are better sometimes than what they are. they bat outside their league, and they get into a guy's life. Instead of trying to make it better, sometimes they make it worse. Understand the role that you have to play. I understand it's difficult out here. I understand women feel like they might be lost. They don't know what to follow because the women before them possibly failed them. But you have people out here now speaking this. I would say learn and try and follow it, because that's going to be the only way to really continue a long-term relationship.
Submit. How can you submit to a man who doesn't submit to God? Everybody's not like you.
I understand that.
You are like in the rare percentage.
I get that.
You must know that there are a lot of black men who don't move like you, who are not successful, who don't want to go to school, who don't want to do anything with their life, who don't have any finances, who don't have any ambition, who have nothing to offer but some dick.
Okay.
So how can you keep telling? And
yes.
Let's talk about it,
Clap it
because
up.
let's talk about it. Black women are in record numbers going to college. We're opening degrees. We're getting accolades. We're running nonprofits. There's a large portion of
The dude in the background said, "Not all of y'all, not all of y'all." This dude on 10.
black women who are educating themselves and taking their lives to the next level, while the black men are not reaching those goals. They're not meeting us on those levels.
Black women are the largest group of entrepreneurs. They also have more degrees. There are more black women in the C-suite. And to quote Dr. Umar Johnson, you don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
It's very suspicious.
You don't find that suspicious?
Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Black women also have the majority and the highest rate of student loan debt, which means your debt to income ratio is shot. Problem number one. Problem number two is you spend all that time getting these things on you and not getting any learning in you. Having more degrees than a thermometer does not mean that you understand the temperature of our people.
That's facts.
On top of that, I don't need a degree to tell you I'm a man. Most of my degrees are sitting in the drawer, and the rest of them are at my mama's house in Arizona. I ain't seen them. It don't matter. Everything I learned in college was about happening outside of the classroom.
But you went to college, though.
Hold on.
You went to college, though.
I went to college to please my mother. I had a record deal. I was singing backgrounds for Teddy Pendergrass. Let's tell the whole story, not just the parts you like. And
but
most
you still
of us,
went to college.
Again,
Hold on. I'm blue collar. I work in aviation. I went to college at one point, but ultimately I like working with my hands, to where I end up working in aviation over 12 years. And it's nothing wrong with being a blue collar worker. You have a lot of people under the perception that going to college is going to land you a high paying job, when you can literally get into blue collar work making way more than you come out with that degree. Just being honest. It's depending on what you're getting into, how dedicated you are, and how long you gonna last. Because just because you go to college and say I'm going to go for a degree, that you possibly might not get a job in that. Some of y'all not built for college. Y'all just want to go for the experience. You need to go for where you can actually get in, make money, and make the right decisions. It's not always about going for the degree. That's probably one of the worst things that we can teach and feed our people, is that you always got to go to college. You always got to go to college. Go out there and learn a trade. Go out there and learn a skill. That's going to be way more beneficial, and you can carry that on long haul instead of just saying I got a piece of paper and now I got to go back to college again for another 4 years to get another piece of paper. Now I got to go for another 4 years, another piece of paper, just to earn another $4 or $5 a year. Stop it.
most of us, black men specifically, go to college out of pressure from their mamas and their grandmamas, not because it's something to do to better themselves. The school industrial complex is made for black women. There have been several studies on this that talk about how young black boys are automatically labeled as behavior problems. They were labeled as educable mentally retarded back when Les Brown was in school, and that's going all the way back to the 50s. Then you sit up there and you put them in the programs, then you double down on their reading scores so that you know how many prisons to build. Everything is set up to make sure you rise and think that you are now above us, as opposed to realizing that there's a conspiracy to separate you from me.
So how do we fix it is what I'm trying to get at.
First of all, you sat up there and gave me a 30-minute dissertation on how great black women were doing, but the second I
support my black women, that's all.
I support black women.
I support black men
Here's
too,
the thing. The majority of my clients, The majority of my executive staff, my man Ricardo Cordial, who's been a client of mine for 5 years, he will tell you the majority of the people in my executive team are black women. I have put more black women in the 1% than Nick Cannon with a bag of Viagra. Ooh. So this is not about supporting black women.
Okay.
There's a woman named Anissa Getna who had a nursing business and she had a credit business, and she went and bought her husband. By the time I was done with her, she went and bought her husband a car dealership, then moved to South Africa. She got an AT&T grant. So when it comes to supporting black women, I don't talk about it, I be about it. So that's not the issue. The issue is we need to fix it by divorcing ourselves from their agenda, which is educate our women, make them feel so high up because they got the C-suite positions, they got the degrees, they got the jobs that they put them in, while they disqualify us, underqualify us, tell us we can't do anything, take all of the skilled labor out, and then when they don't take the skilled labor out, they sit there and then make it look like there's something wrong with that. Even look at the movies. There's been Tyler Perry movies where the dude is a mechanic. The least watched Tyler Perry movie is what? Daddy's Little Girls, because God forbid you see a responsible single father and a baby mama who decided that a drug dealer, a YN, is better than a dude that works hard every day, because that's not sexy enough to brag for your friends. You have to understand that this is a psychological op that is played on so many levels that nobody wants to talk about it. So the solution is we go independent, we reject our trash, we stop taking in every piece of bad bitch bullshit that we get. We start looking at the fact that we don't have one black-owned record company, but we got all these black record labels run by palm-colored people with little hats on the back of their heads telling us how we should operate, and then they sit down with Charlamagne and say, oh, well, I just gotta eat. Leor Cohen, you've eaten, bro. You created a 360 deal. Y'all don't want to do payday loans, but what the hell you think a record deal is?
Talk to me about the
Preach. Yo, this man is cooking, man. We got to take back our power. And when I say power, your ability to be able to create. I'm not saying we just kings. No, to be a king, you gotta earn a king title. You gotta work to be a king. Queen, no, you gotta earn that title as well. We gotta go out there, produce, create the culture, the trash parts of the culture, compartmentalize that, because you ain't gonna be able to remove it. You need to compartmentalize the trash part of the culture, redirect your mind into the right places, get around good centered men and women with good values. That's one of the best things you can do. Reject all the things that you feel like you need to do to make yourself be presentable or look like everybody else. You want to wear weaves, all this extra stuff, makeup, jewelry, the things that don't matter. Because what we do, we wear this stuff and we try and look a certain way to appease people that care nothing about us. We got to stop doing that. We have to get back our inner power to be able to create, because we all got it in us, but we lost sense of community. We lost sense of self. We're not out there building our communities up, where we're not out there working with each other. Families are more separate than ever. We've become individualists inside this society and economy that they have created to play it out like that. This is by design. And the more this thing grows, the more we become more separate with our communities, which is why we don't live in communities no more. You just live in a neighborhood that a house just been built a week ago. They throw up these neighborhoods like it ain't nothing. Apartments, houses, what are you supposed to do? Reach back in.
360 deal now.
So,
The 360 deal.
All right, so a 360 deal means that instead of you just signing a record deal and they get their money from the record sales, they get money from your email list, your website, your touring, your merchandise, your name, image, and likeness. They own you, and they give you a big old advance, and when you don't possibly clear that advance, they turn around and give you another one. Look at Drake.
Get cooked.
I thought you were referencing the 360 deal into the black community. I'm sorry. I knew what the 360 deal was. I guess what I'm trying to get from you, and I really appreciate your wisdom coming on the show. I really just want to find like the common ground, because I understand what you're saying, where black women go to school and they get degrees and they feel like they're higher up. But how do we, level it out?
It's not you versus me. It's you and me, right? So here's the thing.
Yeah.
When we were allowed to go to school before our women were, we came back and we taught our women. We have to start realizing that we need to raise our entire community, not just our children. So if you're coming with information, instead of standing on the corner with your girls talking about, clock it, I got this many degrees, clock it. Why don't you start clocking the ability to start elevating all of us? We need think tanks that don't involve white money, non-black money, and I'm not saying we can't have allies, but we need to start circling our wagons amongst each other. We need to start circling our dollars amongst each other. The Jews do it, the Italians do it, the Chinese do it. When black people do it, they look at you like you crazy. There is no reason that FUBU should not still be hot today. Y'all rocking Ralph Lauren. There is no reason why Motown should have been sold to anybody but black hands. There's no reason why BET should have been sold to anybody but black hands. And y'all crying about the BET Hip Hop Awards. Hello, Boo Boo Cakes. BET ain't been owned by black people in 27 years.
It's been a long
Hallelujah,
time.
amen.
So if you want a solution, the solution is ignore the rhetoric, ignore the propaganda, and realize that I am not your competition. I am your completion. I am the one that's supposed to protect you, but the Bible says it is better for a man to live in the roof of his house than be in a house with a quarrelsome woman. Calm all that down. All that sprinkle shit, calm that down. And by the way, when it comes, and this is just me making sure that I'm giving you a solution, if you are so talented, so gifted, so degreed, so smart, how you let dumb niggas nut up in you and make babies?
Damn. That's real, because you're not as smart as you think you are. That degree does not make you smarter. You are still the same individual that hadn't learned anything from your family or your upbringing. We got to stop that, because a lot of goofies out here that don't mind busting in chicks and disappearing. So ladies, you need to get around well-centered men, hopefully family, some really good friends that you won't put yourself into that situation. But guess what? Once you get that degree and you get that money, you feel like you're independent of men. So even them good men in your life, you probably feel like you don't even want to listen to them because you feel like you done accomplished so much. I'm working hard. I'm doing that. I'm getting to that bag. Stop it. Money is not the end all be all. It is a tool, but it's about this up here, how you use that tool. That's what it's about. But usually, that's why I say it's no bashing towards women. But when women get careers and money, the first thing is to become independent of men. There's no other reason behind it. With us, we just look at it as survival. We gotta change that narrative.
You over here talking.
Without a ring, without any type of commitment, and then you go and say that you don't like the white man, he's oppressing you, this, that, and the third, but you go to your white boss, then you go to your daddy government, and you allow daddy government to go tax this man instead of working it out with this man. And if this man was a deadbeat, you should have known that before you shed your clothes like Country Crock and spread your legs.
Damn.
There's accountability on both sides.
Dave Anderson, I totally agree. There is accountability. Before we home run, we gotta go. I gotta put you in some hot seat questions. How did your experience in the media industry shape your?
We're gonna go ahead and leave it right there, y'all, because I really wanted to just focus on that conversation. We gotta do better as black people. Just being honest. You're gonna vibe with your tribe, like he said. We gonna have allies. I don't mind working with white people, whatever color. Goddamn. Technical difficulties. I don't mind. I don't care about the skin color. It's about the content of your character. One of the earliest time periods for me to even get out of my pro-black era was me getting scammed by the same people that look like me. Like, and that awakened me from that phase of my life. So it's about content and character. But I loved how he redirected it to the man and the woman, because see, we design like this for a reason. And that's why the higher ups or the powers that be, they understand us better than we understand ourselves. They understand what human nature is, what people are going to do, the first reactions. Why do you think they have it set up to where everybody in America is more individual? It's not a black thing either. It's a white thing too. This is a white thing as well. But I will say this with us, we have certain things that really entice us a little bit more than some of these other ethnic groups. We're a little bit more, we love the lights, we love the camera, we love the drama, we love the glitz, the glamour, sometimes more than some of these other cultures do sometimes. And we do it in a different way. And the things that we like and appreciate sometimes can become raunchy or be viewed as raunchy. You know, we gotta somehow redirect that energy and put it into places that's gonna be meant for positivity, for good, for our own communities. Because what someone might say is good in one area might be bad to someone else. But we still have to follow a blueprint of focusing more on real estate. Now I'm talking about families. I'm not just talking about, Because you can't help all and everybody. But if everybody like us is kind of moving the same way for us, focusing on, the things that will benefit their lives, us as a whole would probably just look more as a unified collective, opposed to just a few of us doing it. Because right now it's like a few of us doing it. When we look at some of these really bad neighborhoods, we're going to see a lot of us doing the wrong things. So we need to get on the other side of the fence. You're not going to fix it 100%, but at least we can change some of the narratives for our future generations and for the lives that we live right now. Because some of the things that we dwell in don't benefit us. You just really look at your day-to-day life, the things that you really put a lot of time and energy into. What do you really get out of it? Do you get emotional stimulation, or do you see some form of like a future benefit? Whether it be health, whether it be wealth, what is it that you really see for your future that you're doing now to help for the future? See, I do things now, man, for my 40-year-old self to look back at me at 34 and say, I appreciate the things that you did at 34, the decisions that you made, the tough ones, fighting through it. I work for my future self. I don't work for me right now. The stress I endure, the time that I have to sacrifice, I do it for my future self. Because I want him to look back and say, I appreciate you. And I think a lot of us need to focus on that. But man, this brother was cooking, man. And he didn't hold back. He did not hold the punches on the things that he had to say about men and women. Because that's why it sounds like we talking down on women, but really we telling y'all to be careful. Because we already know there's going to be guys that are crash outs. Who you think we fight against when it comes to wars, or when it comes to terrorists or criminals? They're most likely going to be men. Men have the power to really do those things to a heinous degree. So we try and tell y'all, hey, be careful. You get with the wrong guy and he F your life up for years. You got to have better mentors, women figures. But as the generations have went down, it's gotten more and more tainted because the only thing y'all thinking about is becoming separate from us. Y'all can't build because y'all just worrying about y'all. And he said earlier, stay out of men's business. Men stay out of women's business. I got 2 daughters myself. Guess what? When they menstruations come, who you think gonna be dealing with that? Wifey? Not me. I don't have one. I wouldn't know how would it feel to every month to even get into that. That's what we need to learn how to do. Let man business be man business. Let woman business be woman business. Y'all like the video? Comment below. This was amazing. I'm not even gonna lie. Make sure y'all sub to that guy's channel. I think his name was Ryan Anderson. Make sure y'all sub to his channel. I'll try and link his channel in the description as well. Make sure y'all follow the Big Facts Network also, where this interview was done at. And I hope y'all have a great day, man. Whatever time of day it is, just make sure y'all enjoy the day. And this is JayBReacts, y'all. Until next time, peace.